Everything is so expensive and wages are too low. How is Gen Z expected to survive and have a good life? Gen Z here. 21 with 3 kids. My wife and I both work and got extremely lucky in our positions. Our family members split up babysitting duty and put us in a very fortunate position. If we hit even one piece not fall into place, we'd be homeless. If our families weren't nearby, they didn't care, etc. If one of us had a worse job, if we hadn't saved, and both bought cars when we were teens, and we're still scraping by, even with lots of help from neighbors, grandparents, friends, etc. We are extremely lucky to have a great support group. This shouldn't be the bare minimum required. Though, your statement assumes that people who can do something about it actually care too. And the sad reality is, they don't. Fire sale capitalism means get in, get yours, get out. Fuck everyone else. We're seeing the results of that with Boeing. We're seeing it with wage depression and layoffs while companies are reporting record profits. The sociopaths and psychopaths in charge view other people as a means to an end and have zero concern for the well-being of others. The only thing we can do is vote them out. Or in the case of private companies, avoid their products. Thank your government and your president for that. Thank greedy capitalists in the 1950s. The American dream actually existed. Families could have a nice home, a nice vehicle, and take vacations all on a single income. Question why we're sending billions upon billions of dollars to foreign countries, getting involved in windless wars that are not even our concerns. Illegal immigrants are getting luxury apartments in New York for free. Our taxes have skyrocketed also because we the Americans are paying all of those expenses for the government. Hi, old millennial here. You are not expected to have a good life. You will have a lower standard of living than your parents. Your children will have a lower standard of living than you. It's likely that this trend will continue for at least the next several centuries. If you're not already rich, you won't be. If you don't already own a house, it's unlikely that you will. You will own less and pay more for what you do own than almost any generation in history. No one is coming to help you. Doom and gloom class warfare rhetoric is exactly what the haves want the have-nots to waste their time wallowing in. It's hopeless why even try. Who benefits the most from this kind of attitude? People sitting on the throne that don't want to get dethroned. But in the fucking effort, stop externalizing failures. Be ambitious. Or don't and continue licking boots towing a party line being fed to you by people who don't want you to achieve anything. Ain't that are growing up right now will see what is going on. Begin speaking out, both of which are already happening. Begin to get elected into positions of power and started enacting real change. Political divide we own right now will inevitably spawn the children that will change that. And they will be able to look back on our situation and learn from it so it hopefully does not happen again. I remember getting a raise to $7 because of the 2008 collapse when gas was $5 a gallon. I had 4 jobs and was a full-time college student. To get by the next few years was rough. You're likely spending what money you have poorly like everyone at that age. You can eat for a week for cheaper than you realize. You'll adapt and survive as we all have. The amount of money I'm now hiring younger people, I can assure you, is poor financial decision making. We keep voting for the 2-party system. They keep printing money with no regard to economic reality. We're in so much debt. The dollar will collapse, and there will be no going back to the dream of the middle class. Millennials are scavenging the last of the pie crumbs. There will be even less crumbs left for Gen Z. When the political power is entrenched, there's no will for them to reform. We're just all riding the carousel expecting a change of scenery. One factor that isn't accounted for in inflation, and that will rise regardless of inflation and wages, is the sheer complexity of modern products. Sure, the price of wheat still went up, but there were no past equivalents for how complex and expensive modern daily consumption is. Your phone today has more computing power than supercomputers had 30 years ago. It creates an enormous amount of cost when a luxury product is part of the expectation. They could start by learning a little history. Past generations sent hundreds of thousands abroad to fight for years and maybe die to save civilization. Meanwhile, those here couldn't buy many groceries without a ration book. Oh, and if you were black, you couldn't eat in restaurants in a lot of the country. Maybe if they read history instead of playing video games, they would figure out what to do other than complain. Honestly, have a little bit of luck, but also build an opportunity in case you do happen to get lucky. You can't hope to get lucky without putting in any effort. Make friends. Try to learn a corporate skill, e.g. Excel or Google Sheets. Pull your weight when provided an opportunity. It's a lot of things that go into it, but you can work on it in little pieces, and it definitely takes a lot of time. Ugh, as a millennial, I worry about how the world just seems to be getting worse and worse. As bad as we had it, Gen Z also has it bad. And while we are still electing old, out-of-touch politicians, it feels so hopeless to ever try and improve anything. I feel heartless, but I can't wait for the boomer generation to no longer be a voting majority. But somehow they don't seem to be going anywhere. That's the neat part. They don't. And if they don't get off their fucking asses to vote and actively participate in our political process, they don't deserve to. I'm so goddamn sick of young people who bitch about how the deck is stacked against them, but then they can't be bothered to vote. I experienced this on Super Tuesday. Not a person under 30 in sight. I just want people to be rewarded based on work ethic. I don't want the person that gives a $30 an hour performance and the one who gives a $3 an hour performance to both make $15. They should offer tax cuts to companies that give routine raises to top performers. If there's strings attached to corporate tax cuts, you'd see the structure change so fast. Get a good, marketable college degree in something you're good at. I've 3 criteria for a job. 1. I don't hate it. Don't have to like it, just not hate it. 2. It pays well. No point in a degree that won't pay for itself. 3. You have to be good at it. If you want to move up, you need to actually be good at it. A degree won't guarantee you a job. My GF and I just had this discussion the other day. In 2000, I had a 3-bed-to-bath apartment. Car payment, full coverage insurance, cell phone bill, electricity bill, cable bill, plenty of food and beer in the fridge, and could still go out on weekends. I was earning roughly $15 per hour at my job. Yes, the cost of living is stupid out of control. Median blue-collar jobs pay better than median white-collar jobs by a ton. X to 3x in many cases. Don't go to an expensive college. Get used to the idea of doing a trade. Become an apprentice in something. How Many Works has recently done a video about the plummeting value of white-collar jobs and traditional four-year university degrees. Simple answer: you're not. Capitalism is coming to its end stages, so corporations, the rich, are sucking all of the surplus value out of the public they can. Check out how homelessness is being made a criminal action across the country. Hey, you can't afford a house? You can go to prison and be part of the prison slave labor workforce. My parents immigrated from a struggling country where they ate beef maybe once a year and often had to go hungry. They were often sick and disease-ridden and had never traveled abroad before coming to the US. So the short answer is most of humanity doesn't have a good life. It was just a special time for the developed world. They aren't. The silent generation made things nice for the boomers. The boomers did their thing. Now it's the millennials and Gen Z's turn. And we aren't going to do so well. Our parents couldn't hold a candle to their parents' generation. This is a general blanket statement that may be partially incorrect in some aspects. Don't live beyond your means. Don't go crazy with debt. Invest in your professional future to increase your earnings potential. Consider relocating to a low cost of living region. If you're in California or New York, the answer is to win the lottery. But you don't have to live in the most expensive cities in the world. Increasing education and job opportunities, advocating for fair wages, and implementing policies that support affordable living could help alleviate some of these issues. Additionally, fostering financial literacy and encouraging entrepreneurship may empower individuals to navigate these challenges more effectively. It took me 10 years, 1,500 resumes a year to get a solid job using my degree making $50,000 a year. I realized after all of this that through hard work, working insane OT 16 hours a day, 5x a week, and saving up as much as I can that, I'll never retire, and will likely die as a result of the stress of trying to survive. Got to distinguish yourself from the crowd or be part of the crowd. If you go to college, your choice of major needs to be financially viable. Any skills or education obtained beyond HS diploma must be marketable. You can whine, or you can start figuring out what the people who aren't whiners are doing, and do that. Gen Z will need to be tactful about education and careers, picking industries that are in high demand. Lots of high-paying jobs out there, and in the US, there are still so many affordable cities and states to live. I'm a millennial and had to live a few times for work, and I'm sure Gen Z will have to do so as well. Depends on how you define a good life. As won't be the same as the boomers. Their houses with $180,000 mortgages are all paid off. They were able to build up savings, etc. I've come to accept that I need to just balance out what I need for a good life. Do I need a new car? New clothes? New phone? Nope. Adjust expectations. Understand living within your means. And recognize that social media lies. All of that takes time. Most of it takes planning and persistence. It unfortunately takes a lot of delayed gratification. Most of us start at the bottom and hopefully work our way up, and few of us do that alone. The American pursuit of a quality lifestyle is like rats on a sinking ship. Scurry upward while the bottom of the ship sinks further. Hope your wages rise at a faster rate than the economic waters rising below you. That's the American experience, trying to outpace the rolling catastrophe behind you.